Okay. I hear you, PewDiePie. I see you opening the video. Okay. Out here checking out videos, YouTube videos that age like wine. Right? According to Ryan Pictures. Okay. Kicking it off with PewDiePie. Let's do it.
Better help along before any spotlight wouldn't last. Just as some creators burned bright and faded fast, others took bigger risks to speak out, like PewDiePie, who called out BetterHelp long before anyone questioned the platform's practices.
BetterHelp.
In 2018, BetterHelp...
Oh no, I remember seeing BetterHelp everywhere, bro. Everybody was like promoting BetterHelp. Like, let me say, a lot of my favorite creators. BetterHelp, damn. What's up with y'all?
had become one of YouTube's most popular sponsors.
That's what I'm saying. I knew about BetterHelp. I know a whole lot of y'all knew about BetterHelp too. BetterHelp.
The online therapy platform was being promoted by creators as an affordable, effective, and convenient alternative to traditional mental health care, which for many sounded like a
Oh yeah, I remember you could even choose your therapist, man, you know what I'm saying? I think you could choose the gender of your therapist. Like, you could choose the hours of your therapy, like session, all of that kind of stuff.
win-win. Help was finally being normalized and creators were being paid to spread the message. But PewDiePie noticed that something was off. In a now older video, he briefly talked about BetterHelp, openly questioning why they were advertising mental health services while openly admitting to not helping customers find suitable counselors.
BetterHelp themselves doesn't take any accountability of finding you the right therapist or any accountability for the actions of their therapist. Then what's the point? What do they do?
To him, something was clearly suspicious.
What do they do?
So they, like, what, they didn't verify, you know, the fact that the therapist that they associating you with was maybe a qualified medical practitioner, like as in therapist, you know what I'm saying, as in qualified therapist.
You don't take accountability for anything. You can find a therapist that does phone calls or texting by yourself.
Years later, that skepticism aged differently when, in 2022, reports began surfacing that BetterHelp had shared sensitive user data, including mental health information, with third-party advertisers like Facebook and Snapchat, directly contradicting the platform's earlier assurances about privacy. Then, in 2023, controversy arose when the FTC fined BetterHelp for millions of dollars for their deceptive practices, confirming that the company had misled users about how their personal information was handled. Suddenly, PewDiePie's video proved to be more insightful than many expected, but the issues didn't
Proved to have some foresight that a whole lot of people didn't have, right?
stop there. To date, users still come forward describing their own experiences through reviews like,
Bro, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this one hits closer to home, because I'm not gonna lie, bro, there was a time, right, I was going through like one of my paradigm shifts, one of my little paradigm shifts, you know what I'm saying? I'm losing a whole lot of friends. I'm going through a whole lot of mental issues, bro. I mean, that's why I could even be like, my algorithm at the time, I remember it was like around 2018, going through a whole bunch of things, you know, family wise, you know, I'm transitioning to being my own person, you know what I'm saying, in like within my own life, you feel what I'm saying? Moved out of home, all that kind of stuff. So the things that I was searching up and relating to on YouTube was, you know, the self-help stuff, you know, the mental journey, mental health type stuff. And so obviously it's only right for YouTube to what? Suggest some BetterHelp type ads to me, bro. That's what it was throwing to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it would like I'm talking about creators that, like, I feel like, you know, got me out of wormholes that are really deep. I would see this BetterHelp thing. I was like, I considered, like, you know what I'm saying, using their services one time. Shit, like I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I never done it. I never used their services, and I feel like my decision aged like how PewDiePie's video aged. Damn, like wine, right? That's crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Tough to be honest, and they'll take your money. And in hindsight, PewDiePie's
So they was gonna take my money? Damn.
concern about BetterHelp immediately became valid. Mental health and therapy was being commercialized, and the creators had become the middleman. And while PewDiePie questioned the sponsors behind the scenes, SunnyV2 focused on creators, showing how a single personal change could ripple through someone's career. In April 2023, Chris Tyson, a longtime collaborator on MrBeast's videos, responded to a tweet from Blix who had noticed his transformation, publicly revealing that they had begun hormone replacement therapy, making a deeply personal—
I think I remember the story, man. I think I remember this. Hit a like on this video if you remember the story.
step in their gender transition. I'm genuinely so glad so many people are learning what HRT is and how it can and has helped so many people. I was super nervous to be public about this because I've always been so private when it comes to this, but seeing conversations started because of me is amazing. Chris had been a fixture in many of MrBeast's projects for years, appearing in videos and challenges that helped the channel grow into the most subscribed one on the platform. Their announcement sparked widespread discussion, with fans and viewers reacting through comments like, "Good for Chris, but surprising to be all these years, I thought they seemed to be the most conservative of the friend group. And my kids are not allowed to watch his videos anymore." Soon, it became one of the most talked about things on the platform. Amid this conversation, commentary creator SunnyV2 uploaded a video titled "How Will the Chris Tyson Situation Impact MrBeast?" In the video, he analyzed how Chris's transition could impact the team dynamic and the broader perception of the MrBeast brand. Sunny also questioned changes in Chris's public presentation.
For example, on the 6th of January 2023,
And I'm imagining, like, knowing the kind of content that MrBeast channel is about, right? A transformation like Chris Tyson's transformation would now force the MrBeast channel to address issues that that concern the rainbow community. You know what I'm saying? I could see where the controversy may lie there. You know what I mean? Because when we're talking about, you know, and now once you attach yourself to maybe issues or topics that are concerned, that, you know, regard the rainbow community, you now attach yourself to politics. You know, these things are attached, bro, in more ways than not, bro. You feel what I'm saying? This was gonna have to turn MrBeast's channel political, at least, right? Like, as in, he was gonna be forced to address these, unless, you know, he's one of those people that, like, nah, regardless of, you know, Tyson going through whatever they're going through, I'm gonna say they, you know, yeah, they, you know, regardless of what they're going through, like, yo, I'm still gonna push the content that I push, blah blah, right? Let me listen further.
Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled "I strapped a GoPro to a fish," in which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother."
Showing times where Chris went as far as making MrBeast uncomfortable in his own video.
Make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
And questioning what it could mean
Nice shoes. What?
for the image of MrBeast's channel.
The problem is, this type of situation is probably the last thing that MrBeast wants to attract, as he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy.
The video quickly went viral, attracting over 10 million views and sparking intense debate across platforms. Such an L to SunnyV2 new video. Bro is being outright transphobic to Chris. Common SunnyV2 L. SunnyV2 just being openly transphobic now. On the same day, MrBeast addressed the controversy directly, saying, "Yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare, he's my effing friend, and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off."
See what I'm saying? He was forced to now address these things, and there, you know, his irritability levels, bro. Like, I could understand them going up, bro. Like, every time he has to, like, address this, like, his cortisol has to just be forced to skyrocket. Damn.
However, in 2024, the situation evolved in ways that few could have predicted, when Chris's chats with an underage fan named Lava went viral. The leaks included conversations from years earlier, like one screenshot where Lava claimed that Chris had been sending him weird snaps, making weird faces and captioning "coming for America." He even went on to admit that Chris is a different man off camera, something that many viewers found concerning. While Lava later clarified that they did not feel victimized, the screenshots still made people begin to look at Chris and the entire MrBeast brand differently. Within days, Chris announced on X that they were stepping away from all of things MrBeast and social media through a post that read, "I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social
He stepped away from the MrBeast channel?
media to focus on my family and mental health." MrBeast also publicly responded stating, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Chris Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to..."
You talk about he's disgusted. Bro, weren't you just like defending bruh on some coming at my friend Tyson is pissing me off? You was just pissed off, bruh. This is what I'm saying. Like, it probably did leave MrBeast in a weird position, because now he has to be performative. Like, at the end of the day, it is his friend. But these kind of narratives, man, that are attached to what was going on with Chris Tyson, they're controversial, bruh. They are attached to controversy. I don't know why I cannot say that word properly. Controversy. Nah, okay, let me leave it alone. But damn, now he was forced to be all performative and shit. Yeah, I'm disgusted. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party
to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts.
Damn.
That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. Looking back, SunnyV2's video now feels like an early marker in a much larger story, foreshadowing the intense attention that would follow when Chris's past actions resurfaced. And while SunnyV2 analyzed how controversy could affect a brand's future, the completionist unknowingly foreshadowed his own downfall long before it hit the headlines. For years, Gerard Khalil, better known as the completionist, was one of the most trusted figures on YouTube. His gaming channel was built on consistency and transparency, but buried in his older videos was one video where Gerard briefly expressed his doubts as to whether he would still be producing content in the future.
But yeah, I just wanted to do a little brain dump, a little house cleaning kind of stuff, and then, hopefully talk about the future, and if there is one. It's kind of bleak, isn't it? Oof. This went weird. Don't read into it, I swear to God.
At the time, his comments felt harmless, just a creator being honest about burnout. However, years later, that clip would take on an entirely different meaning. In November 2023, YouTubers Carl Jobs and Mudahar accused Gerard and his charity, the Open Hand Foundation, of withholding over $600,000 in donations meant for dementia research. Money that had been raised years back, as Carl went on to explain.
Is that since its inception in 2014, the Open Hand Foundation has not contributed a single cent to any organization. For the past 10 years, they have raised over $600,000, and it's all just sitting in their bank account.
The accusation shocked the platform, with people responding through comments like, "A dementia charity forgetting to disburse donations. Sometimes jokes write themselves. This is why you always donate directly to charities. Never do it through a third party," which is exactly what Open Hand is. And when Carl tried to get a statement from the charity foundation, asking whether they felt it was okay to keep asking for donations all while not donating even a single cent, he received a response that read, "The insinuation of wrongdoing on the the part of the Open Hand Foundation is both unwarranted and unfounded. We conduct our operations within the bounds of legal and ethical standards, and any implication to the contrary is baseless, seemingly dismissing the severity of the allegations. Then a month later, Gerard uploaded a 19-minute response video where he revealed that the money had finally been donated.
The Open Hand Foundation has donated $600,000 to the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration.
Okay.
However, it did take too long to get to this moment.
After which, he stepped down from his role at the charity.
As the Open Hand Foundation board is currently restructuring, I am taking this time to step away from my role as a board member. I am no longer a part of the Open Hand Foundation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, that's how you know things have fallen apart. You know what I'm saying? Remember what happened with FaZe? Oh, do your homework.
However, he insisted that he had done nothing illegal, then completely disappeared. Aside from a short Twitch appearance in early 2024, which was later deleted, Gerard remained silent for over a year, and during that silence, speculation only intensified. It wasn't until September 2025 that he finally returned with a 45-minute update, where he revealed that the situation had escalated into the Department of Justice, which was triggered after the charity was mass reported following the expositions.
I was being accused of embezzlement and charity fraud, with Carl and Mudahar directing their viewers to report my family's charity to the authorities, prompting a criminal investigation by the Department of Justice.
While he expressed confidence that the accusations of fraud and embezzlement would be disproven,
and I am still absolutely confident that the accusations of fraud and embezzlement will be proven false.
He also admitted to serious moral failures, empty promises, and mistakes that allowed the situation to spiral.
However, even if we never broke the law, serious moral mistakes were...
And I'm not gonna lie, these are the kind of accusations that just like break your reputation, bro. Yeah, he was talking about, yo, I'm taking a, a break, I'm experiencing some burnout, blah, blah. But then the last thing you're known about is this. Imagine that it wipes out, it nulls out, the years worth of work that you've built, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Because now it's like, this is the last impression that people have of you. This is always a negative, man.
Still made by myself and the foundation. The Open Hand took far too long to donate. We never explained why it took so long until after everyone called us out. And I lied about this for all of Indieland's years.
Looking back, his earlier clip hit differently. At the time, his rant was brushed off as just an overreaction. But years later, as the internet became more aware of how online behavior can spill into real-world harm, his warning feels disturbingly accurate. And while some warnings come from instinct, others were far more serious, calling out dangerous behavior that most people ignored and ended up costing lives. TJ Kirk, also known online as the Amazing Atheist, was an outspoken American YouTuber who often tackled topics about religion, politics, and social issues. He was never afraid to call out behavior he thought was dangerous or misguided, and that's exactly what he did on June 8th, 2007, when he uploaded a video rant about people online who admired the Columbine shooters, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. In the video, he expressed concerns about their supporters and offered to share details about them.
And I want to talk about these kids, and not just kids, there's adults too, who seem to extol Eric and Dylan here on YouTube. I'll link to all of their profiles once again, so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
After which, he delivered a chilling warning saying,
but I think that, those people are the kind of people you want to be keeping your eye on. We're always talking about warning signs, and could we have seen it coming? Well, you know what? If you want to look for warning signs, there they are.
Among the profiles he highlighted was Natural Selector 89, a Finnish teenage YouTuber who just 5 months after TJ's video went live, went on to kill 7 students and his principal at a high school before shooting himself in the head. After the incident, TJ expressed his frustration and disappointment in a new video saying,
it was something that I warned you would happen, something that I told you to be mindful of, and you didn't. You weren't mindful of it, you criticized me for it.
Despite the grim circumstances, his prediction brought him attention online, with many praising him for seeing something others had ignored all the way through.